So let me paint you a picture of what freedom actually looks like. Not the Instagram version of freedom, not the carefully created posts, the living my best life captions, the performance of having moved on. Real freedom, the kind where you wake up and your first thought isn't about whether they're watching, the kind where you achieve something and feel genuine satisfaction, not because it proves anything to anyone, but because it fulfills you. The kind of freedom where you're finally living for yourself instead of performing for someone who will never appreciate the show. And this is what becomes possible when you finally stop proving yourself to people who don't value you and start living for yourself. So let me share what becomes possible when you finally stop proving yourself to people who don't value you and start living for yourself. So imagine if CARDI's incredible success transformed from a performance for Offset's attention into genuine fulfillment for herself. If her achievements came not from needing to prove her worth to someone who doesn't see it, but from authentic passion for her work. If her transformation was experienced for herself rather than performed for his validation. If she discovered that her worth was never actually conditional on his recognition. This shift wouldn't erase her achievements. It would transform their meaning. Her success would become genuine fulfillment rather than proof. Her growth would serve her rather than perform for him. Her life would be lived rather than created for his approval or potential, I should say, regret. The same possibility awaits in your own relationship with achievement and validation. So when you stop proving yourself to people who don't value you, when you truly redirect your energy towards living for yourself, your entire experience transforms. You stop achieving to prove and start achieving to fulfill. You stop performing your life and start living it. You stop seeking validation, of course, from people who just don't give it and start claiming your worth for yourself. This doesn't mean you stop growing or achieving. It means your growth comes just from a different place, not from lack, but from desire. Not from proving or needing to prove something, but from wanting to experience something. There's a difference there. Not from performing for someone else, but from living for yourself. Think about how this might transform your daily experience. Imagine waking up, not with thoughts about whether someone is noticing your progress, but with excitement about what genuinely fulfills you. Imagine achieving something and experiencing pure satisfaction. Not wondering if they saw it, not hoping they regret losing you, just a genuine appreciation for what you've accomplished. Imagine posting about your life without secretly hoping a specific person is watching. Imagine success that, satisfies because it's aligned with your authentic desires, not because it proves something to someone else. Imagine a life where you're the primary audience, where your opinion of yourself matters more than anyone else's opinion of you. And this is what becomes possible when you break free from the "I'll show him or her" trap. Not a life without achievement, but a life where achievement serves you rather than performing for someone else. Where success fulfills you rather than trying to prove something. Where you're free to live for yourself rather than being trapped in someone else's validation. The path to this freedom requires courage, though. It requires you to face the painful truth that some people will never see your value, and to accept that their inability to see it doesn't diminish it. It requires you to grieve the validation you wanted that they'll never give. It requires you to redirect your energy from proving yourself to them to experiencing life for yourself. And it requires you to sit with the discomfort of achieving something without immediately wondering if they noticed. And it requires you to celebrate your wins for yourself rather than performing them for someone else. It requires you to claim your worth instead of seeking their validation. But on the other side of this courage is a freedom that changes everything. The freedom to live for yourself, the freedom to experience your achievements as genuine fulfillment, the freedom to Know your worth isn't conditional on whether someone else recognizes it. So this week, I challenge you. I challenge you to notice one area where you're still trying to prove yourself to someone who already showed you they just don't value you. One place where you're performing for their validation instead of living for your fulfillment. And then take that one action that's genuinely for you, regardless of whether they ever see it or care about it. Maybe that means pursuing a goal that fulfills you even though it won't impress them. Maybe it means posting about your life without hoping they're watching. Maybe it means celebrating an achievement for yourself without performing it for their potential regret. Because maybe it means finally accepting the painful truth that they'll never see your value and choosing to live fully anyway, not because you're trying to prove something to them, but because your life is too valuable to waste performing for someone who will never appreciate it. Whatever action or whatever that action is, let it be a practice in living for yourself instead of proving yourself to someone else. Let it be a moment of breaking free from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation from people who won't give it. Let it be a step forward to a life where your worth is claimed by you, not proven to them. And remember, the person you're trying to prove yourself to has already shown you they don't see your value. And no amount of achievement, transformation, or proof will ever change that. Because the problem was never that they weren't enough or that you weren't enough. The problem is that they lack the capacity to recognize what's in front of them. So the I will show you trap promises that one more achievement will finally make them see, but that's the trap. There is no achievement big enough to create appreciation in someone who lacks it. There's no transformation impressive enough to make someone value you if they've already decided not to. True freedom comes not from proving your worth to people who don't see it, but from claiming your worth for yourself. Not from achieving more, but from experiencing your achievements as genuine fulfillment rather than proof. Not from performing your life for someone else's validation, but from living your life for your own satisfaction. The power was never in making them see your value. It was always in recognizing that your value doesn't need their validation to be real. So you can be at the top of the world like CARDI and still be trapped in seeking validation from someone who will never give it. Or you could be exactly where you are right now and choose freedom, the freedom to live for yourself, to experience your worth without needing to prove it, to build a life that fulfills you regardless of whether anyone else appreciates it. The choice is yours, but know this, that every day you spend trying to prove yourself to someone who already showed you they don't value you is a day you're not living for yourself, a day you're not experiencing genuine fulfillment, a day you're trapped in their validation instead of claiming your own. You are valuable, not because of what you achieve, not because of how you look, not because of what you prove. You're valuable simply because you exist. And that value doesn't need anyone else's recognition to be real. So stop performing for people who would never give or never appreciate the show. And I'm going to say that again, stop performing for people who will never appreciate the show. Start living for yourself. That's where your freedom is. That's where your fulfillment is. That's where your life actually begins. As always, stay beautiful, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.